Ba 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 boom! One more, ba 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 boom! What's up, you guys? This is Robert at Shy Bears Plus. You found us on YouTube, so make sure that you go ahead and subscribe, like this video, share it to your friends, comment. We love crispy comments. And tap that bell. I don't know why you haven't tapped the bell yet. You want to miss anything. Also, I'm Robert at Shy Bears Plus on Twitter. Follow me for all the crispy comments and tweets on Instagram for the dankest memes. Along with me, I am joined by the president of the Tom Compton fan club. It is Jeff at Plus_Shy. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people. I'm an embarrassment to all Chicago Bears fans.
No, you are not. Inside joke. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter so that you get all the crispy inside jokes. But what we're really here to talk about here today is Week 17. Chicago Bears beat the Vikings 24-10, eliminate the Vikings from the playoffs. What a game, what a game, what a butt kicking. What an enjoyable game to watch. So much to talk about. Why don't we start with stats, Jeff?
Yeah, I got some stats for you there, buddy. Let's talk about how dominant the Bears were in the first half, giving up a paltry 37 yards to a fairly decent Kirk Cousins-led Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins threw for over 4,000 yards this year. That's 1,000 more than Mitchell Trubisky. Granted, he did play a couple more games on him, right. But Kirk Cousins didn't have a terrible stat line, and the Vikings had two wide receivers that were over 1,000 yards. So to stop them for only 37 yards in the first half, so the first four drives of a playoff Vikings obviously needed to win to get in. You'd think they'd be playing with desperation. The first four drives for the Vikings ended up in 3 and outs. 5 3 and outs. They had 6 drives in the first half. 5 of them were punts. The other one was a field goal. Leonard Floyd led the Bears in tackles with 8. He was all over the place in run defense. We had 4 sacks on the day, all of them by interior linemen. All right, number 96 had 1.5. Number 91 had 1. 98 had 1, and 95 had a half. Roy Robertson Harris was everywhere. I loved how much energy he brought, and just the way these guys use their hands. Seeing Eddie Goldman's sack, they had a little shift to the left, and then he just slaps his hands out of the way, rip move, boom, they're up there so quick. It's so much quicker for an interior lineman to get to the quarterback than it is for an outside lineman, and you're seeing how the technique of the Bears is coming through there. Adrian Amos, 5 solo tackles. None of them were in the backfield, all in space. He played well. Very well. Number 58, he had 6 tackles. He was 2 tackles shy. Roquan Smith of Brian Urlacher's rookie tackle record for the charter franchise Chicago Bears. Let's move it to the other side of the ball. Yeah, we talked about Kirk Cousins leading or having 4,000 passing yards. Well, guess what? Mitch Trubisky had more passing yards than Kurt Cousin. Completion percentage, Mitchell Trubisky. Sacks, 0, Mitchell Trubisky, 4 on the other side. Quarterback rating, Mitchell Trubisky. We are 8-14 on third down against the best third down defense in the NFL. 2 of those were Benny Cunningham runs that stalled out while we were trying to kill the clock. And then we'll do some hot takes a little bit later regarding Trey Burton and Javon Wims. But that was your stats of the week.
Great stats, so crispy. I don't know if you heard it, but I had to add rolling during that. I had to turn it off. So those of you listening at home, just a amateur YouTuber mistake that you see all the time. Love to see it. But dude, your stats, we might as well not even do the show because that was pretty much the whole thing. So, hey, we're going to end this thing early. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming out. That's all. No, that's not all she wrote. Yeah, but, man, the Bears get off the field on third down, something I wanted to bring up. It was unbelievable. It seemed like they were 3 on him every single time. And then Mitch Trubisky, maybe he didn't throw 4 touchdowns, but the guy just converts third downs in these long drives and keeping their defense on the field. Because he converts third downs, that's why we win TOP every week. And we love to see the TOP bail. So sorry for going on that rant. I know we like to keep the show moving, but
do you know the TOP battle offhand? Usually I have that, but I want to say they got to be
37 minutes. Chicago Bears 37-08.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that might be
to 22-52
season high. I'd have to double check. I know they had 35. I think against Packers, but 35 was the highest I think I remember seeing.
So crispy, so crispy. One more thing, some of your stats there. The pressure up the middle was insane. Their guards and center were just giving up pressures like crazy. But then you also saw when they had the Cousins-Dalen little mix-up on the sideline, and I guess he was mouthing Cousins going, I don't have 10 seconds to throw the ball, because the pressure was right in his face. And I think after the first series or two, he was seeing ghosts the rest of the day. He wasn't trying to step up, or he knows he ain't gonna run anywhere. So once they got at him, they were living. They were like, hey, I'm not only renting space in Cousins' head, I'm buying property up in there. Anyway, let's move on.
We'll be there for the next 2 years.
We'll be here for a while. Anyway, our what to watch for, the only one that we did was to play to win or not to play to win. And I think it's pretty fair to say that the Bears went ahead and played to win this game. They played everybody. They took the starters out late in the fourth quarter. Even our second-team defense was laying the wood, by the way, and they couldn't stop that. So, man.
Yeah. Well,
so
this was a perfect play to win. Like, they didn't play everybody because Allen Robinson didn't dress. Aaron Lynch didn't dress. 39 Eddie Jackson didn't dress.
I think they were legit hurt, though.
Yeah, for sure. But these are impact players. Our number one wide receiver, the dude that has 5 touchdowns in 2 years, that's like a tie for an NFL record. So we didn't have everybody there. Granted, we had 95% of them there, but we still executed against a team, and then we rest all those guys in the fourth quarter. You love to see it.
You love to see it, folks. So crispy. But let's go through our.
Let's get a crispy counter.
Pew, pew, pew. When you got the catchphrase, you just got to go to it. Shy Bears Pluses, Bears Victory Pluses. Let's hold ourselves accountable for the next couple segments here and run through those. I'm going to start with A-Rob out. Anthony Miller and Adam Shaheen should step up, be there for third down conversions. Both of them got hurt and left the game. Totally didn't nail it.
Yeah, you didn't. But who's going to predict that? But other guys did step up. Gabriel, huge catch, the 40-yarder. Trey Burton's longest catch was 9 yards, but he caught everything that was thrown his way, aside from that one errant ball. He had 6 targets. They completed 5 of them. So there was guy. Javon Wims. I want to talk about Javon Wims, but these are guys that stepped up that haven't. Javon Wims probably hasn't dressed for 75% of the game. He called. So that was picking off you, I guess. I wanted the Bears to play their starters, and they did, and it was a necessity. And I think they have so much more momentum going into the playoffs now that you beat your rival on the road. You could beat anybody. If you're going to beat that defense, you could beat anybody in the league.
For sure.
Cinderella's shoe's about to fall off when it comes to Nick Foles and the Eagles, so we'll get to that later. But player starters, Bears Victory Plus, they did it. They won. What do you know?
Yep. Mine was don't run into danger. Just because we had success running the ball last week doesn't mean that you're always going to be successful. Different teams have different strengths. Well, we ran the ball all over this team. I think I had us for 169 rushing yards total in the game. But if it's there, go ahead and take it. So I don't really feel like it's a total indictment on my Bears Victory Pluses, but everything worked. I mean, we kicked their butt.
Yeah.
Passing, running, defense, everything.
We're starting to get to the point to prove you very wrong here that the Bears, with their offensive line, if they could run on the Minnesota Vikings for 169 yards and at will, especially with Bradley Soul, now all-pro fullback, the Bears could run against anybody, and that's the end of the story. I mean, Kyle Long coming back, dude, they were road graders. him and Whitehair together, they on the one, I believe it was the first Jordan Howard touchdown with the inside zone. Both of those guys beat Jordan Howard into the end zone with blockers. It wasn't like they were untouched. This was a goal line situation nearly, and they just this is the fourth best defensive DVOA of the year at the Minnesota Vikings. I wanted the Bears to play with a grudge, and they did. I felt like Akeem Hicks laid the tone early when number 33, I forget his name, or Dalvin Cook, who I want to talk about his pass blocking and why Jordan Howard is a much better running back than Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, when Hicks slammed him to the ground, that was a statement. He stood over him and he said, "Not today," and he was true. Hicks was a leader. That was like one of my what to watch fors or whatever. Stay tuned for Hicks to have a huge game, and he did, and he set the tone like the leader of the defense does.
Absolutely love it. I was really hoping Harrison Smith might have got some more shots taken on him, piggybacking onto your grudge thing. But yeah, that was such a great point. I almost forgot about Hicks doing that. After the game, the reporters cornered him and asked him what he said. He said, "Too many explicitives to tell you here in front of the camera, so no, I can't talk about that." I'm going to wrap up my victory pluses here. I want to know where Harrison Smith was. I felt like they did a pretty good job staying away from him, Dirty Harry, and then run to the edge. Man, they ran all over, but they did get the ball outside, but then there was also big cutback lanes. So, I mean, everything was wide open, and then we saw that wide receiver screen. I said tunnels and bubble screens, but it didn't really matter. They were so dominant. Like, you didn't even really need a game plan. You just drew it up and beat them. I mean, they manned up. Everybody won their block, it seemed like, every single play. It was insane.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Let's hear some Viking victory pluses. You could probably take the lead here. I think I told them to sign Randy Moss and don't have the Metrodome fall down or something. So let's hear what you've got. Dude,
I'll go real quick through them. I thought they should run the ball because they've been running the ball to make them effective. I didn't think it was going to work, just like we stifled the Rams and the 49ers. It was going to be the same story. They weren't going. Our run defense is so good that no one can run on us, it seems. So it wasn't going to be good, but I wanted them to run the ball because they had to do something to take the pressure off Kirk Cousins. I mean, if you threw the ball, 50 times in that game, they weren't going to get very far. It was going to be a massacre. So they did. They tried to throw the ball short, try to find those 10-yard hitches, comebacks, drags, but the Bears defense was still too tough, and I wanted them to trust Deion Bush, and they really only went his way one or two times, I felt like, deep. And then they had a big PI call. So those are my victory pluses. There wasn't a whole lot they could do. And in hindsight, holy cow. Let's go through our predictions.
Got that. Hey, just real quick, make sure to like this video, slap the bell. This video is Shy Bears Plus. It's sponsored by El Perro Diego. Hey, bud. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Thanks. I guess that checks in the mail, right, Diego? Anyway, what's he sponsored? What's he sponsored? Dog hair?
No, I'll check his checkbook.
Okay, very good, very good.
His statement.
Let me get the whiteboard out. Final score.
Oh yeah.
24-10. I had 17-12. I can't even see. I wasn't that close, but I wasn't that far away. I didn't think they'd get in the end zone. But I mean, that was a play I want to talk a little bit later, but it reminded me of Diggs touchdown of the OBJ play, Odell Beckham, where they ran that little mesh, and then on the backside, he scored a touchdown on us because Trevathan was back there and he didn't follow him all the way across, and Manning just threw it up to him.
That's such a hard play.
It is a tough play, but I guess they scouted us on that in the goal line. Rats off to you. Rats off to you.
Yeah, good call. That was exactly like the old OBJ there in New York coming across the field. That's such a good play, especially when you have speed on the wide receiver there. I really like that personnel. I had 20-13. I won't show you my whiteboard, but this game, even though the score was 24-10, that's a pretty good margin of victory for the Bears.
Sure.
this game was in hand nearly the entire game. I mean, if it wasn't for like, scoreboard Dave will say this, that pass, even though that should have been a Kevin White penalty, like early in the fourth quarter or whatever that was, when they had like that 4th and 6 and it was like a 7-yard whatever field swap. If they missed the field goal there, because that would have been like a 49-yard field goal for Parkey. I don't know what I was saying, but that's probably the first time that's happened all year. So give me a break.
Hey, you know what? 17 weeks to have a brain fart. There you go. Let's get into some of those penalties. There was again a second week I thought atrocious with the officiating. I hate to be such a crybaby, but I mean the 2 pass interference on Nakamura. I think one was against Diggs, and the one was against somebody else, maybe Jackson, where they're running right at him for 10 yards, and then they go to push off him and run the hitch like they do all the time because Kirk Cousins doesn't have time, number one, so he has to do 3-step drops. They need to work the underneath game. So Nakamura says, no, I'm just going to grab you back, and then the second guy gets called. I thought it was so cheap. That PI not called on White down the sideline on that 4th down that you were just talking about, which made me remember it. I thought, come on, man. He held him all the way down the field. You got to throw the flag. I don't care. It absolutely drives me nuts. And then the phantom holding against, was it Kevin White on the Howard screen, where he didn't hold anybody. I guess he had an outstretched arm and his hand on him, and he fell down, but he got thrown down. I don't know, man. If you're not super sure, like, don't call it. And don't be the person who changes the game off of a maybe call. And when you have blatant calls that you didn't make against us, I mean, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but, it's a conspiracy. Maybe not. But anyway.
You got that shirt on?
I don't have the shirt on. I had the crispy conspiracy theory shirt on yesterday, folks. You missed it. You love to see it. Maybe we'll get a sweet photo of that for you one day out there. Is there anything that you wanted to get into, talking points, or just what do you got? Anything?
Yeah, I pretty much have like 4 main talking points, I guess, regarding this. I could go one at a time or kind of buzz through them. I'll just buzz through them here.
Sure.
And I alluded to it earlier. Jordan Howard is a better running back than Dalvin Cook. Why? Pass protection. Oftentimes, Jordan Howard coming into the season, we were questioning his ability to catch the ball. So he's not really a third down back. This guy is the best pass protecting running back in the league. He did it again on that 2-point conversion to Kwiatkowski. He just, he's decisive, and he goes in there. He'll, like an Anthony Barr, right on your quad. You're done. You're on the ground. I'm watching Dalvin Cook pass protect over and over again. He's very reactive. He's staying back on his heels. He's trying to block with his hands. Good luck doing that with Mack and Goldman coming on his side. Like that one near safety, Dalvin Cook was just like, it was the worst pass protection I ever saw, almost like Lawrence Phillips when Steve Young ended his career. Check that one out. You got anything to say about that?
Yeah, well, we could talk about that 2-point conversion a little bit too while we were right there. But yeah, he really stepped up and kissed the linebacker right in the face, like with his shoulder, and just stoned him on that play. It was pretty sweet. But
you love to see it.
So we missed an extra point earlier, so I'm assuming that we went for 2 off of the chart, the play call chart. I don't know.
I didn't hear the presser.
So I didn't hear. I heard bits and pieces of the presser, but I didn't hear anybody get into it. So we were trying to figure it out yesterday watching the game, and I was unsure why not just go ahead and kick it. But I'm assuming since we missed the one, it was a chart thing. But me and Scoreboard Dave like to say, hey, if you don't need to go to 2, just go ahead and get your points. And then our scoreboard is like, dude, if you don't trust him to kick the ball, if that's the case, you got to cut the guy.
I just thought about this. Did he just do that to have fun, just to get Kwiatkowski and put more stuff on paper for the Philadelphia Eagles to see? And I'm pretty sure that's the same play they ran with Soul. They just kind of switched the personnel, had Soul be the long route and Kwiatkowski be the short route, as opposed to the other at Soldier Field against the Rams.
Santa Slay, I think is what you were thinking there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, it did look awful similar. I did think that too. Nagy did say that was an Andy Reid play where they were motioning back and Nakamura back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I guess they ran that in the preseason, and then he gave Andy Reid the little smile and nod across the field, and he acknowledged back because he's like, Reid would never call it. He's like, so I called it, and I called it. I guess we had a lot of fun, and then we brought it back. So I did not remember that until he brought that up.
While we're on that subject of Nagy and like having fun, it was just like his ability to scheme and get people open. Mitchell Trubisky said earlier in the season that there's always an answer. It's just finding the answer with every single one. And you did that film breakdown of that Trey Burton. What an awesome play call on that blitz. I wonder if they knew the blitz was coming, that it was a certain down and distance at a certain yardage on the field, that they're prone to go with the cornerback blitz there. They did it. Minnesota didn't even hide it, and you had Burton in the slot. It was a quick out there. Awesome job with the first down, but over and over again, Nagy's not afraid to call the same plays that work. Okay,
right.
Inside zone read, that Burton out, and then the corners, the Kevin White catch, the inside or the comebacks. Simple route trees and combinations, but easy to do. The repetitiveness, and I think you've seen it all year long from training camp to now, that the repetitiveness of these simple routes, but when they're ran the right times or against the right defenses, you always have an answer.
Yeah, it really seemed like rewatching some of the highlights of that game, they had this team pretty darn well scouted out, where you have they try to be tricky with bringing Harrison up to the line of scrimmage and then dropping him back, but they're really not fooling anybody, because they're doing all that a lot of times in man. So it's either man under one, and they're either blitzing the nickel, they're blitzing Harrison, or they're spying, and either the nickel's blitzing. It's like 3 or 4 different plays. It seemed like, all right, well, and there's all keys on for every single play, just by knowing the depth of the safeties, and then they give it away by pressing up the corners. So it seems like they do 3 or 4 things a lot. I saw some other plays. There was a couple zone here and there, but they must have had that scouted out pretty well, knowing down and distance, like you were saying. And they made him pay for it quite a bit. Even when they had this box stat, we still ran it against them because we just manned up every single man and beat our blocks. It was awesome.
Unbelievable. Especially against Minnesota in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's like we've had trouble running the ball all year long. And then everybody is saying, well, Nagy's got to learn how to run the ball in December. And you got to learn how to get Jordan Howard. I think that's well in hand, and we've been doing it for weeks at a time. I just have a real quick kind of funny thing to say, other than Bradley Soul being all-pro everything.
I want to talk about that anyway.
We can. But let me say this real quick, and then I'm done with my hot takes. Eric Kush, you need to go back and rewatch whatever you can, and watch the Bears sideline and watch Eric Kush. He's all over the place. Anytime there was a tackle near the sidelines, he's right there. A catch. The Wims White catch, he's right there cheering. I think like Harrison Smith or somebody came over there after it was when Mitchell Trubisky picked up that first third down run in the third quarter when he beat Barr when they all played man coverage, and
right.
That was the first time Mitchell did any elusive running of the day. And so when Mitch ran out of bounds, here comes Kush, playing protector. Once like you said it. They didn't do it for Cutler. They do it for Mitch. It's family.
That's right. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family. Well done. There was a pretty sweet Brian Baldinger video, I think, showing that play where Trubisky gets out and runs to the sideline. But yeah, you were talking about Bradley Soul. I think we finally found an excuse or a reason or a substitution to not have Michael Burton on the active roster when you need a fullback. That dude was getting it, and Michael Burton runs to the line of scrimmage, and he spins around in circles. He doesn't know his responsibility before the play. It's like he's like, all right, well, I'm going to run and maybe hit somebody. He ends up never hitting anybody. Yeah. Soul would just find someone, burying him, and then he looked pretty sweet running the seam route too. I'm not going to lie. That dude is super athletic for his size. Who knew?
Watch it. He's been in a 3-point stance his entire life. He's 6'7", 320. You watch him on that video at +_shy on Twitter. That's +_shy on Twitter. You watch that video I have of Bradley Soul on. It was just like a pro style like 24 dive or something like that. And then here you go, Bradley Soul coming out of that 3-point stance like a bullet. You're running downhill 5 yards later. Here comes Anthony Barr or number 50, head up. He pushes him for like 5 yards. Howard gets like an 11, 12-yard gain. And then here comes Soul a couple seconds after the play's over. He's like, the dude comes up to Soul's shoulder.
Right.
And then Soul's just like walking him like, I'm still on you, dude. If this play was going, I'd still be blocking you right now. And that one guy's like, just get away from me. And that's how I felt Minnesota was all day. It was like, they didn't want any part. Like, Dalvin Cook thought he wanted the Bears. He was wrong.
He wanted none. All right, sorry we're so scatterbrained here today, but you're going back to the scouting and the it just kind of having everything figured out. The Vikings defense, I mean, they knew, they were like in their head the whole time. They seemed like they knew what they're doing every single play. Mitch knew every single read, continuously finding the open man on third downs. Every time they blitzed, he hit the check down. 7 for 10 versus the blitz for 103 yards with a 103.3 rating versus the blitz. Dude, Trubisky torched him. They absolutely torched him on third down. Unbelievable. You love to see it. So crispy. Every single catchphrase, all right there in one. And then, man, they had to spy so many times because you have to respect Trubisky's legs. And it just takes another guy out of coverage, man. And I'm feeling good. Dude, I was walking around at work today with my Bears pin, chest out, because you know what? I like our chances to go very deep in the playoffs here. I hate to make bold predictions like that and throw it all out because you never know who you're playing week to week. And I haven't, I'm not a professionral analyst pundit here, and I haven't scouted every single team. But on a week to week basis, seems like we're all aces.
What's going to happen real quick? Here's what's going to happen. Here's the Peterson Matt Nagy storyline. Nagy wins that. Okay, we're gonna. LA's gonna get the revenge. They're playing at home. Bears are gonna win that. Site is Super Bowl 20. Bears 46. Patriots 10. We're going back to the Super Dome and we're gonna crush the Saints. All right. Then we're going to Atlanta. I don't know. You could figure out something there. Maybe we play the Chiefs. Nagy versus old boy. You love to see it. You heard it here first. +_shy. Book it. Bears covering all along the way.
Wow. Are we going to start getting some Just Best bets back for the playoffs?
I don't know. I need to start. I've been picking pretty well lately, actually, in my own accounts. And maybe I will do that to give the people some of that paper.
You love to see it. Just making you all the monies, everyone. Make sure you keep tuning in to Shy Bears Plus to make sure you smack that bell so you know that if he does make that video, you can make your play. Also, here on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, I have no idea what you're waiting for. Are you waiting for the new year? Well, go ahead and do it tomorrow. Also, like this video, share it with a friend, leave a crispy comment. I'm Robert at Shy Bears Plus on Twitter. Make sure you follow me for all the content. At Dank Memes. Speaking of Dank Memes, Instagram, only Dank Memes if that's what you like. Maybe even some crispy pictures of at Shy Bears Plus. That is Jeff at +_shy. Can you take us home, sir?
Yes, sir. Hey, kudos to you there, Robert, at Shy Bears Plus for picking the Bears on September 3rd, 2018 to go 12-4. Kings of the North. Hell of a ride. Loved it every step of the way. It's not over. We got another 6 weeks of show coming. You love to see it. Shout out to Club Unit D, Club Dub, all in the house. We'll see you on Thursday for a little, Eagles at Bears, Sunday, 3:40 on the lakefront. That's all she wrote.